Going on, welcome back to the channel. Steve, Elliot and Ronaldo back doing a little bit chat about these games coming up. I don't know what Ronnie's doing.
Because you've got the TV thing on behind me, but you can't even see it because I'm just sat in the way.
All right, I can see.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that TV?
Yeah, the TV behind me.
All right, yeah, but everyone saw the thumbnail before they clicked on it, so they don't need to see it.
Yeah, that is true. That is
Elliot,
true.
how are you? Because he's obviously off his meds today, so what's going on?
Oh, yeah, well, I'm all right, thank you. You all right, Ronnie?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm completely fine. Do you know what I mean? I've got a little bit of a buzz actually, but until I talk about United, of course, which is kind of what we do for a living. But
4 iffy games.
But it's 4 iffy games.
You wouldn't pick them games, would you? If you was like, can we just ease this manager through this difficult period? You wouldn't be picking. What was that?
I'm not. It's obviously because it's been International Week, as you all know. We all hate International Week. It's boring. It's rubbish. The games are so different.
Wait. Are you saying that you're not eagerly anticipating England-Latvia?
No, I'm not. And it also you get these, and you see a lot of the players that aren't doing well domestically. They go and play against Luxembourg, etc. No offence, and then get some goals off. But I think it's about time. Even though there's international games today, I think the last run of games are about today or tomorrow. I think we'd start looking ahead towards the Scousers on the weekend and 4 very important games anyway for United season in terms of momentum, but also the optics around and the sounds around Amorim and his job as well. Because unfortunately, the 4 games that we have coming up look quite iffy, and I want to find out from you, but I also want to find out from the people watching. Will United survive them, and how many wins, losses, draws do you think we'll get?
Are we looking forward to absolutely any of those games at all?
Looking forward to football being back.
Yeah, that's something, isn't it? But Ronnie's saying there's an international break straight after this as well.
It's killer, man.
I feel like there's one every month, and that's the jarring part. But I'm just looking forward to actually seeing some domestic football in the Premier League being back. I think the season to start, I don't know if it's a roll-on effect from the minutes that teams are playing or the change in style, but I have agreed with Steve, who said and a lot of people have said I don't think the quality of football to start the Premier League season has been that great when I've watched matches. But even still, I guess there's some parity. There's competitiveness in the league. But United, in terms of the jeopardy we have now, the next few games in the next month or so is huge.
How much do you think, both of you, that the confidence from that Sunderland game is going to carry over into this game, especially the Liverpool one?
None.
That's the first one. Not all. You think it's
because everyone's been away on an international break.
It's the worst time for it, right?
Honestly, that Sunderland games feel like it was about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It was like COVID happened. We watched Tiger King. Then that Sunderland game happened. That's like literally how long ago all of that was.
It's felt like that because it's 1 game a week now with United. We know Europe. It does feel like there's a long time between matches. Obviously, stories daily do affect that as well. But to be fair, I think even before the international break after the Sunderland match, there wasn't as much of an overreaction to the Sunderland win as I expected. Because I'm always one that believes a lot of the fan base are kind of like love that element of hope, that overexcitement, where it does feel like, especially with the whole pressure around the manager and Amorim, it felt like if you lose 2 games, as soon the people that run like the Amorim side, if he wins one, they'll make a massive song and dance about it, saying we're back.
Welcome to the fucking internet.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're up and down.
But that's normally what I see, he's like we've won. Do you know what I mean? But to be fair, I didn't see any of that. It was like solid performance. Everyone appreciated we got the 3 points. It was almost a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Loved the fact we got a clean sheet. But I think United fans
3 months after the international break.
I feel like there's a level head after it. But in terms of what you're saying, I don't think there was this whole we're out of the woods kind of vibe after the Sunderland win. Which
it was just a positive sign. It was a good step. That's what it was. And it could all crumble down with this first game back, couldn't it? Straight away.
So this 4 games. The Liverpool one it's a loss on paper, right? So anything more than a loss is a win or a draw. What's the par points? 12 on offer. I think 6 out of that 4 people will be, I wouldn't say happy, but I don't think people are like, he's got to go because he's lost 2 out of those 4 games.
Well, Forest, they're dramatically underperforming.
I think you got to win now.
So you've got to win that.
But mind you, I don't know, if you beat Brighton and Liverpool, I don't think you get to lose to Forest.
All right. So we're looking at them overarching now. Can we look at them just individually, one by one?
No, yeah. I want your, out of 12 points, what's your par? I think the par is 6. I don't think you can win 1 and lose 3. I think if you won 1 and drew 3, that's 6 points. I think that's not bad. I think 6 points is your par.
6 is probably fair.
I think 7.
So that means
2 wins and a draw.
2 wins and a draw and a loss.
And a loss. I'd say part 7, 6.
No, I think that creeps into being good. That.
Well, I definitely want a draw against Spurs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, 6 points was par then.
Yeah, 6 is par. Anything above is better than that.
We're good on that. I know we're going to get slandered now for the standards, but 6 points is par. I say.
Standards your arsehole, because look at where we are, man. Look at the performances we've been putting in.
What do you mean standard my arsehole?
Not your arsehole.
Leave my arsehole out.
The collective arsehole.
Collective arseholes.
Yeah. All together.
Yeah. Stick it up your arse is what I'm saying.
I'd rather not.
I think you can't be talking standards. They are so bad. Like, just accept where you are.
Yeah, realistic.
Our standard used to be win the league and throw your teddy out the pram if you weren't.
Yeah.
Honestly. Do you know what I mean?
It is true. It felt like, even I remember watching football, I'm not that long in the tooth, but I remember watching United games where we'd be in title challenges with, like, Chelsea. I think from what I remember, I think they were one of the ones that I remember being more title challenges when I was watching, the younger days around.
Ronaldo days.
Yeah, 2005 to 2010, 11. And I always felt like we'd have Grand Slam Sunday. And I think if we even drew big matches, there'd be that sense of disappointment within the fans.
I saw an Instagram post the other day that someone did, it was highlights. I think it was United Portsmouth 2008 at home, and I think we drew 0-0, right? And apparently, like, you watch the highlights, we have battered them, and Portsmouth celebrated the end of that game like they'd won something by holding United. I'm pretty sure it was 0-0. Someone just double check that. I'm pretty sure it was a 0-0. It was a draw, I think, either way. And Fergie stopped talking to the United team for a week. Do you want to talk about standards?
Yeah.
We've just drawn at home after battering someone. David James had like a 15 out of 10 performance, and he stopped talking to him because we didn't get the result. Do you want to talk about standards? That's all you have to put the bar there, because that is the bar. We're not there. If we battered someone and didn't win now, we'd be doing like 5 things we learnt about not being able to win, but we were really good. Do you know what I mean?
Could you imagine the headlines if we lost and Amorim didn't talk to the team for a week, though?
Drew.
Yeah, Drew, yeah. Drew. Yeah. Wow. But I think it's a point to say that, like I say, you're talking about the par, the games that we're obviously, I think it's pretty obvious we're going to lose some of these. What's sort of the minimum standard of a loss? I'm saying...
Sorry, it was 2 weeks they didn't talk to him for.
Oh, 2 weeks. Yeah, so... Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay, no. He just sent out Mike Phelan and Rennie Mullerstein to do all the talking for him, probably, innit?
Sat in his office.
And just sat in his office.
See, that's mad if I did it with Paddock and I see you guys once a week. When you see them 6 days a week, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's 12 full days that you've just like blanked the entire team is mental.
What was the first word back? What's that?
It was a swear word.
Yeah. Yeah, so you get that Liverpool game. You lose 2-0, terrible performance. That's one thing we can't accept. But if you put up a good performance in that game...
I don't think 2-0 and I don't think you... If it's a terrible performance...
Well, not a 7.
We're talking your 5. Yeah. 4s to 7 is the terribles.
And there's obviously Anfield is a bit iffy, to say the least. But I know we got a draw there last year, wasn't it? I remember the Sandro Martinez rifling one in. Then they've not been that good defensively. They've lost 3 on the bounce. So it's almost put this... United always facing big teams in this type of way, because if we beat Liverpool at Anfield, that should be a fucking huge result, huge statement. But then you get people saying, I'm a cynic, and not even I'd got people saying, oh, they've lost 3 games before it, they're in poor form, that, all those caveats. But I don't give a shit if it's an Anfield win. Do you know what I mean? It's a big result, and but the thing is with United is, if you're looking at those run of games, if United went and beat Liverpool away at Anfield and have followed it up, would it be surprising then if we lost at home to Brighton? So it's like, that's the issue with United. It's like
that's why there's a par. That's why I wanted to know what your par is, and I think it's 6 because obviously if you lose all 4, that's very problematic, and I don't know if he survives that. And I know Jim Ratcliffe can come out and say that he's got 3 years, and that's fine. But like things change, your input changes with every result that you get, and all the extra inputs that you get. If you win 1 out of 4, it's still below par, which is why I think 6 points is your midline.
And obviously with Liverpool having a point to prove coming off international break, pissed off against Manchester United at Anfield, I think it probably is the worst possible circumstances for a United team going there when they got the bit between their teeth.
And fans
are pissed. They've lost through on a bounce. They're angry. Looking to make a statement. I think it's going to take quite a lot for us to get a result there, and that would be in normal circumstances.
Never mind being away from home is not good as well, because our away form's terrible.
I know, and we haven't beaten Brighton in 4 matches. I think that. Correct me if I'm wrong. So that's, and then obviously Tottenham, we lost 4 times to them last season.
That'd be problematic.
So yeah, that's what.
Well.
And then Forest is the funny one about the Forest game is they're poor, but they're managed by Ange, who was manager for those 4 losses that we received. So basically, Ange has a really, really good record against United, and he beat Amorim, I think 3 or 4 times. So
do we need to revise what our par is?
Do you know
what I mean? That's the issue. And the thing is with Forest, it's mad how bad they've been doing, because if you look at their personnel group and the players that they have decent players. It's just Ange don't really give a shit about defending, does he?
No, but there's a lot of that, I think, in modern football. There's a lot of factors into why you're seeing like more goals per game in the modern game. I think the amount of fouls is one, the amount of penalties is another, but the lack of good defending is also another. And it's also why I don't respect a lot of the goal scoring levels compared to like an Andy Cole's level.
I think that you're missing one half of the game where when you're saying is defending, like lack of good defending, you could also say there's a bigger distribution throughout the league for attacking talent as well.
No,
100%.
There's not.
I think the likes of Bournemouth having an Anton Semenyo, Wolves having a Cunha, who were like above the relegation zone. Brentford having Mbuemo and Visser, who were like, and they finished like 14th, 15th place.
Pick a year for me, in the 2000s.
No, the point I'm making is you can say defensive stuff, but in terms of the Premier League nowadays, it's got like even bottom table teams throughout the group have attacking talent on it. So you got so attacking and defending. So attacking and defending. It's not just like defending's poor, so there's more goals. There's still got to be people good enough to score the goals.
The attackers are not better. Pick a year. Didn't Sunderland go down with Kevin Phillips? The guy who scored 30 goals.
Yes.
There was a lot more accomplished goal scorers.
Were they?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the thing is with this argument, we can just go back and forth. But we can go back and forth.
Kanu and Crouch and people like that.
You can do that for this. You could do that in this era with teams.
So he's not better.
You could just go Ipswich got relegated, Liam Delap. Do you know what I mean? It's like
he's not a patch on previous strikers.
And I went for the extreme version.
But you know what I mean?
But
look at some of the players that got relegated. Unbelievable players. Even your Vidukas and your Kubus and stuff like that, they'd look outrageous nowadays.
Do you know what? This error comparing thing is so difficult to do, and it's based on opinion and it's subjective because
what you saw.
Because you can't. There's no way to actually isn't a way to prove or disprove it. Do you know what I mean?
No, you can't. You can say like tackling is all but illegal, which is a massive factor when it comes to why there's more goals per game. I don't believe I don't think we're in a good Flair era. I think we're in a very athlete-dominated era.
Yeah, there's a big emphasis put on the physical attributes rather than the footballing ones.
Yeah.
Overall.
I think the average game intelligence feels lower. Whether it is lower or not, again, how do you measure that? But it feels lower. You know what I mean? And that's perhaps why there is more of an emphasis on what managers do in terms of coaching, because you haven't got the players on the pitch that can just go, give me the fucking ball, let me sort this out. Again, subjective.
It's subjective. It's hard to prove. Obviously, because let's see what the chat. Because you look, all right. So people disagree with me, but I thought people would disagree with me because, fortunately, Steve, we know the this isn't ages. We know the age distribution of your viewers. Do you know what I mean? So there's gonna be more nostalgia bias in the watchers.
Laughing at in the corner.
There's gonna be more nostalgia bias in people that are watching with this one anyway. So I'm expecting that.
Finally,
Do you know what I mean?
Pick any of Chelsea's wingers right now.
Well, that's just.
But Chelsea are not.
Okay.
Chelsea not as good as they were back in the day. It's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Pick any of Spurs players right now. Pull it out to when they had Modric and Berbatov and Robbie Keane. Do you know what I mean?
So you say they were better then as well?
Yeah.
To be fair, you put it that way.
Pick any fucking team in the Premier League. You pick the team.
Am I gonna
Everton?
All right. Now that I'm thinking.
There you go.
So like when Portsmouth used to run the two-man of, was it Crouch and Defoe?
We can't even behind. Crankia.
Pedro Mendes and that. Nico Cranchar.
Oh, he's changed his mind.
No, I'm not changing my mind. Bolton.
Fucking Bolton.
Kevin Davis.
Yuri Djorkaeff. JJ Okocha. Can you imagine what JJ Okocha would be a superstar?
Nicholas
Anelka. Anelka was a fucking player.
Yeah, but they all just got
He was a
plucked by
witch,
big
but he was
teams.
a fucking player and a half.
Yeah. Like back then, they weren't getting.
He was a technician.
Were they?
What?
You wouldn't see like back then like you would now. The big teams just taking all those players from those clubs.
They did eventually. It still happened. Did
it happen to the extent that it happened, for example, last summer?
Yeah, I think it's always happened.
I wasn't there.
I think it's always happened. You see, like Blackburn hoovered up, the likes of Sutton and Shearer and stuff from your Norwiches and your Southamptons. It's always happened. It's always happened. Newcastle, when they were throwing money around in their first time, there was a sugar daddy play thing. They're bringing in the likes of Les Ferdinand and even Alan Shearer from Blackburn. Like it's always happened that teams at the top have always hoovered up the talent in the league.
What about Blackburn?
But when they won it,
no.
Blackburn
strike forwards. Rocky Santa Cruz.
Morton Paleston.
Mort Gams Pedersen.
He'd be a player now. He could play.
Yeah, and to be fair, I can think of a few.
The Barclays era was a sensational era of footballers. You had a good level of athleticism, but you had a good level of talent and you had a serious level of entertainment.
Yeah.
Why? Because they were better footballers. They might not have necessarily been the better athletes, and even that I think is mad exaggerated. People like people were just having chippy teas and stuff in the 2000s, which is just not the case.
I think it's on a spectrum now, because I'm not just going to act like there's not good footballers in the Premier League today.
I'm not saying there isn't good footballers.
You know what I mean?
I'm just saying
still good footballers, but I guess if you talking about like Euro 9s and that, when I look back, it is comparative. And to be fair, I used a nostalgia bias comment, but I'm actually one that doesn't do the recency bias versus nostalgia, as Notch mentioned, because Everton weren't always top 7 when they had Big Dunk. Pick a year. Wait, let me finish. Because when I mentioned. Because it's something people shit on the likes of Scholes nowadays. I've been seeing that on Twitter. So people are saying that he wouldn't hack it now with the Preston and shit. I still think, and I'm like, it's bullshit. Do you know what I mean? He literally come out of retirement, was winning things. Same with Ryan Giggs. But I do think
people that say Ryan Giggs couldn't play in this era, you're like, are you insane? He played in about 4 different eras.
I think you can't compare eras, because I think you just got to rate players in relation to the era that they played in, and just keep it like relative that way. So if he was a sensational player in the early 2000s, you can't just go, oh, they'll be shit today. Yeah. It's not one of them. They just value them for how good they were at the time that they played.
Yeah, relative to the competition. Yeah,
exactly.
So like, for example, when people talk about like Fergie, and they say, I genuinely see comments saying he couldn't coach now, and you see like Arteta doing quite well, you're just thinking, fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? Or like when people bring the Invincibles and talk about the comparison to this year. Like, I see what you're saying. You can't make that comparison. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's true. But I'm thinking, obviously, you're talking about Chelsea. Chelsea's attackers, Didier Drogba and Joe Cole and that. But the other ones, I don't know, Dedra, remember, they were like ones that I've probably forgotten now. Like Sullivan Kalou and Florent Malouda. I don't know.
Like 2000.
And Shevchenko.
2006, who went down? Birmingham City, West Brom, Sunderland. Let's have a look at these teams.
West Brom. Are you talking about West Brom when they had Lukaku, or is it way further back than that?
Ooh, I think it might have been before. It was before that.
But the Villa back in
2013.
Villa in the early 2000s had forwards you didn't like. That was like Ashley Young in his prime.
Yeah.
Gabriella Bungalow, his favourite player. Is it John Carew? If anyone remembers him, John Carew.
Right, check this out, right? So, the top 10 scorers in the 2006 Premier League season. Drogba was 10th with 12. Henri Camara also had 12 at Wigan. Yakubu had 13 at Middlesbrough. Craig Bellamy at Blackburn had 13. Marlon fucking Harewood had 14. Right? Rooney only had 16. Frank Lampard had 16. Robbie Keane had 16. Darren Bent had 18. Rude had 21. Henry 27.
I think do players hit 20 more, or is it still?
I think they're hitting it a little bit more often, yeah. There's literally like a goal a game extra per game being scored.
Was the league just more open in terms of
tackling's no longer like
you go
to Wimbledon in 1994 with the likes of Vinnie Jones and people like that, and they're getting away with what would probably be red card offences now, right? That levels the playing field. Cantona's not getting as much time on the ball. He's not getting enough time to turn because he's getting fucking clattered from behind. That levels the playing field. As does pitch surface. Pitch surface was not as good universally across the 90s and the 80s. It was pretty bad at times. Old Trafford, especially in the 90s, there were some rough games. Fergie used to pull his hair out with the grand final being there in October because it fucked the pitch up for a couple of weeks. The tackling's one. VAR is another. There's multiple reasons why there's more goals being scored. I do not think it's a level of skill.
So you're saying the level of talent in terms of attackers could be not much difference between them. You just think the defending's worse? Because I wouldn't go as far as saying attackers are better back then than they are now. I wouldn't say that.
I would.
So where does because if we want to talk about extremes, like we have where would Erling Haaland rank all time?
Well, Erling Haaland, because of the size of him, probably does well still.
Erling
Haaland. That's one, and I don't think that even takes thought. We probably are looking at one of the best strikers who ever played a game.
But no, from a technical ability though, I don't think he's as technical as even like Alan Shearer and stuff. I think his size and physicality is almost throwback, but he's playing in an era where he doesn't have to be dealing with defenders in the same manner that the likes of Alan Shearer had to deal with.
I don't think I think his technical ability is an underrated part. I think people going like he just can't play football with his feet, which I don't agree with.
That's absolutely not. Yeah, you don't score the level of goals he scores, but he's also not Robin van Persie, is he?
Nah, he's not out. Yeah, that's good. He's not Robin van Persie, but he's not some sort of big brute that can't play with his feet like people sometimes try and make out.
No, he's not fucking Benteke.
Do you know what I mean?
He's not been asked to be anything remotely like that at all. So
yeah, it's true. But to be fair, when we're talking about strikers, there has been a bit of a striker epidemic, really, when it comes to quality. Because it's Erling Haaland, it's like Harry Kane, and it's like Isak, and then outside of that, the nine market's not like amazing.
But again, I think that a lot of that has been because there's been this change in emphasis, and I think a lot of academy football being totally homogenised across Europe has been a driving factor in this. And I think that there's very, very few specialist players coming through nowadays.
Could you also think it's the number 9 positions being like, in terms of its marketing's been kind of rubbed out, where everyone wants to be like an inside forward instead now, rather than an out-and-out striker? You know, like those wingers that want to score goals, or wingers that want to like play as in almost like an inside forward. Because Isak's an inside forward that kind of made himself a 9. Mbappe's like that. Whereas
I actually still think Mbappe's better as a winger.
Yeah, probably. So I think there's a 9 epidemic, yes, but it's like is the whole like attacking kind of favouring towards players wanting to be like that?
I think we're in a weird phase of football. I think we're on the cusp of breaking into another style and formation era, and I don't know which way it's going to go. I don't necessarily think it'll be 3-4-3. I don't necessarily think it'll be 4-4-2. I don't know what it'll be, But I think we are increasingly seeing people favouring wide players that cross with their wide foot round the back. We've just not got the supply and the practice for those technicians to be like, you look at Dorgu, people are using him because he's left wing back with a left foot, but he's not the pinnacle of where that can be. That you're looking at like prototype number 1.
We're just waiting for that.
Yeah, so he's
quality
athletic,
player.
He's got a serious engine on him, but he needs like a software upgrade to get him to be a technician that can maybe go around the outside and deliver something. I reckon in a couple, maybe another generation, we're getting those players, and rather than that guy now probably would have come through and been a right winger, that guy might come through as a left wing back, or maybe it's a left winger again. And actually because of people are trying to find ways to overload, we went through a 10-15 year period of people trying to dominate midfield with passers and technical passers. And we've kind of flipped it in the last 2 years, where we've gone into this era where pressing from the front and making mistakes in your back line and making the opposition make mistakes in the back line and getting chances off early, almost like high percentage, sort of like winning the ball high football. You've gone into that kind of thing. I think that lends itself to a 2-striker, 2-winger, almost 80s throwback. Maybe the method of entry into that final third is different than what it was with a keeper that used to wear jogging bottoms and just smash it as long as he could. But I think you're going to get to an era where we almost do go to, maybe it is like a 4-2-4 sort of a vibe, or maybe it comes with a different sort of shape to it. But I think it'll be, at least in essence, right-footed right side player winger, left-footed left side winger, and maybe a combination of a 9 and a 10, or a strike partnership that can maybe both put pressure on an opposition defence and combine to create something. And maybe you go almost to a pair of 6s that sit and screen, and maybe a bit of a throwback back 4. Like I don't know if that's the way it's going to be, but I just feel like we're in the middle where we don't quite know what international football is going to be, or top level football is going to be at the moment. Well,
this we're seeing in the Premier League now. It's like long throwing set pieces.
4 centre-halves.
4 centre-halves across the back line, which is what Arteta and Pep have popularised. And just going for like size, power, second balls. That's why the football quality is like died off a little bit. And obviously, I think managers have become a lot more micromanagey and like chess-like, with wanting. I don't know if managers' egos have increased, where they want to be so controlling over what players do and what players think, and like to the point where it's been argued that a lot of managers are going and playing it a certain way because they have a philosophy in mind with players that can't play that way, and then they do badly and they get sacked. But because it's been like this whole pseudo Pep love affairs happening, you get the situation like Company to Bayern, where people are like, oh, you had a nice philosophy and idea, though you can still get a job after it,
even though you got relegated.
Yes. Yeah. So it almost seems like managers are able to kind of like sacrifice results to kind of show off their own philosophy, and they'll still get another job beyond that. And it's like, how helpful is that to the club that you're actually managing? Because that happened with Russell Martin. He's got the Rangers job because
he looked decent.
Because he was like, everyone probably looked at it thinking, oh,
trying to play out from the back.
Look at the way they were trying to play out, or look how many passes Southampton did. Because I think Southampton was up there top of the league for passes even though they were shit. Do you know what I mean? I think their centre half, can't remember his name, had the most passes in the league.
How's Will still getting on at Southampton?
I don't think he's getting on too well, is he? I think they had a pretty crap start, actually.
I know your boy Morecambe like won his first couple or so, didn't he? And I think they've really struggled since. But I think they was always going to struggle anyway, budget and squad ability wise.
It's not an overnight fix for a manager like that, is it? It's a data driven.
I don't think any of them are overnight fixes. I think that's the problem. Is a lot of people in football want immediate results, and sometimes things take a hell of a lot longer to go through, but people aren't willing. Like, there's too many billionaires don't get told, how about have a bit of patience, mate. You're like, you're joking, I'm a fucking billionaire, I want to win now. No one's as funny as Forest's manager though. He's mental. Next time when he sacks Ange, I might put an application in. Just for the payout. Just for the payout on a Barney that I could inevitably have him at pitch side.
Not really, man. I feel like there's certain people you don't want to sign on a dotted line to.
Oh, you think he's got a black ops squad, don't you?
God.
What do you mean think?
I think it's pretty
Why
well
it's not?
documented.
You think it's conspiracy? There's public information
No,
out there. He's been
no.
charged for things and stuff, and like been accused of sending hit squads to houses to kind of like intimidate people and stuff
How
like
long's
that.
he owned the club
He's
for?
a literal kingpin. I don't know what.
Years, isn't he?
There's no joke about it.
Did we not do a background check on that?
Yeah.
Well, this
He's somehow
is
passed
the
it.
piss take of the fit and proper persons test.
Yeah.
What's that? You want to leverage Manchester United with £1 billion worth of debt? That's fine.
Crack on.
What's that? You're a gangland mobster? That's fine.
Crack on.
Oh, you're friends with Putin? You better sell your club, mate. That's interesting.
It's political.
Yeah. See, I think the whole thing with Morgan Gibbs-White as well, who's got Forest in a couple of weeks, basically signed for Tottenham and then didn't sign for Tottenham, and it seemed like Marinakis had him in a dark room somewhere until he agreed to reverse it. You see the picture that they took when he re-signed his contract? Like he was being held hostage.
It's like there's a gun just out of shot.
1,000-yard stare.
Marinakis just in his 97th playing t-shirt, straight face like that, like doing the whole, and then but like Gibbs-White looks so uncomfortable, like barely touching each other, and he's just like that, and it's like Morgan Gibbs-White, I've agreed. He's like, Morgan Gibbs-White's I've agreed to sign a new contract.
Blinking for
I have agreed at my own free will to sign this extension on my contract.
Blinking in Morse code, like help.
Everyone looking at it was a picture though, so he couldn't give any cues away, but that literally looked like, hey, blink if you are in trouble, mate. Do you know what I mean? And he's not had a good season as well.
It was a weird
Gibbs-White.
one.
Yeah, so
He
he clearly wanted to go Spurs.
Because it was City as well. No, he's staying at Forest.
Chris says, Steo's at the Sweden-Switzerland game last Friday. Live in Sweden since 92, from your morning walk area. Isak stood out as pure class. Gyökeres poor. Thankfully went to Arsenal. The bottom of the group, aren't they, Sweden? Have they just fired their gaffer as well?
Yeah, they just fired their gaffer. They actually have
Kosovo doing a bit of a madness.
Yeah, they do.
Group.
But Sweden not qualifying in their group is a bit mad with the personnel that they have. I think the defence is average, but they have some Premier League players. They have like a Bergvall, Isak, Gyökeres, Kulusevski. Unfortunately, he's been injured. Elanga. Do you know what I mean? They have like enough talent there. And also national teams, as I always say, they'll always have good players that you don't know about because they're playing for like Roma. Also, like they're playing for a decent level team, but you don't know that they're
ain't got the press.
Not in your head. But so they should have qualified 100%. But it looks like they're poor, and obviously Gyökeres got the worst rating yesterday, and Gyökeres hasn't scored in over 600 minutes for Arsenal.
The agenda continues.
Because I knew it was going to be a flop.
I find it funny how
I love Ronnie's hate watching.
Nah, because I said it. I think, but the thing is, I've watched him against City. I've watched him a little bit in terms of some Champions League games. I didn't watch him in Portugal, and other than that, it was like clips and footage, and he just didn't look like the goals he was scoring as well. I didn't see that translate into playing for an elite club, an elite team where you're not afforded
He's not
that
at
space. Huh?
He's not an elite team. He's at Arsenal.
They're an elite team now, man. Come on.
I don't even think Arteta wanted him anywhere near as much as they seem to be making out. Pretty sure you wanted Sesko first, you wanted Ekitike, and then maybe Isak, but then you came to your final option, which was Gyökeres, and he's thinking the place out. So still making excuses, aren't they?
He's a flat track bully, innit? And unfortunately, we've seen all the data's come out about the Portuguese league and how poor it is. I think he scored 50 odd goals last season. Apparently 19 or so of them were penalties. People just disregarded that. You know what I mean? I never was bought into the hype, and it was obvious when there was literally, let's pretend, was there really that much interest in Gyökeres this summer for a peak age player that's just scored 100 goals in 2 seasons?
There was a weird quietness about it, wasn't it, to be fair?
Do you not think the data people were or the scouts are kind of thinking, we know he's a good player because he wouldn't have scored the goals he scored. But
he's not, even if he scores 19, that's still 24 that weren't.
Yeah.
Or 34 that weren't.
Yes, exactly. Still, but he's not. but I think they didn't think what his evaluation
how many
would be.
we scored last season?
Everyone was very, very weirdly standoffish about it, considering the numbers. That was the main sort of criticism, this main sort of worry that I had personally. But I asked the question, if we did sign him and Arsenal signed Sesko, different situations, what would the press be about Sesko? What would the press be about Gyökeres at United?
You already know.
Of course we know.
All I'm seeing, I'm still seeing it this week about people defending Vert, saying, "Oh, this criticism's unfair." What's criticism? Like, legitimately, I haven't seen any criticism of him.
I've seen defence. I've seen a lot of
That's all I've seen.
Yeah.
If you looked at every mention of him, it's only been people going, "This criticism's not fair." Please point me to the criticism. Please point me to like a mainstream outlet that has gone, "What's going on here with him?" Not one of them. Not one of them. And I don't even think he's played bad. Like, people are like, "Oh, he's been good." Did you hear me say he's played bad? I just said there's been no criticism. That's what I'm saying. I've just seen people going, "This criticism is not fair," and I'm just going, "What criticism?"
From what I've seen from Florian Wirtz, he's had like mostly poor matches where he looks up to speed, not up to speed, giving the ball away, looks a bit fragile. But he does do like a couple of things a game where you can see the quality and ability, but it's like nowhere near enough to justify his transfer fee. He's getting nowhere near enough scrutiny from the media. If he was a United player, fucking hell, imagine. And I don't know what this Liverpool love affair it is, but for Isak as well, he's not had a great start. But the Wirtz one and how he's been coddled in the media for what he's been paid for and his expectation, I can't believe. I think all the scrutiny's had to come from like rival fans almost. Online, and that's it.
Though.
Which means it's just Twitter.
Yeah.
It's just Twitter.
It's got to be hypocrisy though, because they'll say Wirtz needs time despite the price tag, which is obviously an immediate impact price tag.
They're a team in transition apparently.
Well, there you go. Just won the league, right? Okay, and then
just won the league and have 400 million spent on it. But we need a little bit of patience about them. No, you
they
don't
afford that to our signings, do they? Where's the patience to our young players that we've signed? It's just hypocrisy. That's all I'd say. That's all I can say. Because
I don't get it. But Richard Kelly says
never forget that Graham Souness just couldn't bring it to him to go, Paul Pogba, when he got 4 assists in a match, to go, "Well done."
He said he had to do it, didn't he?
He just went, you expect that from a £100 million player. For starters, he was 89. Let's just get that out of the fucking way for starters. Because that is not 100. 89 is not 100.
Has no one got anything? He's not on TV anymore, is he? I want to see what he would have said about
Souness.
It's been rubbed out.
Souness.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that Souness, if he was asked, would have not said what he said about Pogba on the highlights, especially because he's got Liverpool.
Should go doorstep him. Hello, mate. Florian Wirtz should have about 32 assists, I believe, by now. Right?
I'd love to hear him justify it.
He wouldn't. He'd just like, fuck off.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, cheers everyone for tuning in. We'll be back next week. I'll be back on the walk in the morning. Maybe there's some news tomorrow. Who knows? We'll probably talk about England, however it's gone. But we'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.